We're very humbled to be here and excited to be here as well.
So, given the name of the event and the topic of today's conversation, I thought it prescient to start with the moment that you found your voice. You were born Victoria Adams.
Yep.
You were raised in Hertfordshire, about an hour outside of London.
Yep.
In a comfortable family home with a family who really supported your ambitions and your love of performing arts in the stage. And for the purposes of research for this interview, I went back kind of in the YouTube hole and I looked at some old videos of you at stage school performing. And I did not see a timid adolescent unsure about what they were up to. I saw a young woman with focus and intention. And I was wondering whether you could share with us whether how much of your personal transformation from pop star to entrepreneur and everything in between has been a strategic one, and whether that young girl knew what was ahead and did she have a master plan?
I've always had to work really, really hard. Nothing ever came easy to me. You know, when I was at school, I was never the most academic. I was never the pretty girl in the class. I was never the popular girl in the class. I mean, quite the opposite. I was very badly bullied at school, and I always really, really struggled. And it was always just about keeping my head down, working hard. I was very close to my family, you know, very much come from a working class family. And I wanted to go on the stage and I wanted to sing and dance. But again, I wasn't the best. It was always just about working really, really hard. And I've had a lot of knockbacks, and every time I was knocked down, I got back up again. And that was, you know, that's just the way that I've always been, you know, very ambitious, very determined, never afraid to put in the hard work, and very focused. And I believe in creative visualization. I believe in putting it out into the universe. And if you work hard enough and believe in yourself enough, then what you can achieve, the sky's the limit.
So you came to the public consciousness in a little known girl group called the Spice Girls, which of course went on to be a complete mega brand. There were 5 of you.
Yeah.
Each of you had your own personas.
Yeah.
Yours was Posh Spice, glamorous, sophisticated, a predilection for the odd piece of designer clothing. What did you learn about yourself during your time in the Spice Girls?
Do you know, I think because I was so bullied when I was at school, I was very, very shy, a little bit introvert. And when I met the Spice Girls, I met 4 other girls like me. We were all underdogs in our own way, individually, not that great, but collectively, we really worked and we had something very special. And most people out there could relate to one of us. And we'd all come from a similar place, meaning that we'd all had to work really, really hard. And together we then began a mission of girl power. And this was a long time ago. I mean, I remember the first time we went to a record company and we said, we want to be on the cover of a magazine. We were told, well, girls don't sell magazines. You know, you're never going to find yourself on the cover of a magazine as a girl group. You know, people only want to see boys on magazines. And we began this mission of girl power. We're saying, you know, we're not just as good as boys, right, ladies? We're better. And we broke barriers and we went on a mission to empower not just girls, but yes, boys as well. And it's okay if you're the underdog. It's okay if you're not the popular one. It's okay if you're different. It's about embracing who you are and being proud of that.
I mean, around that theme of girl power and female empowerment, what do you think of how you think of female empowerment now versus then? How has that evolved and transformed?
I think it's obviously it's really, really evolved. And me personally, it's now about empowering women through fashion and beauty. It was music, you know. Girl power will always be a part of my message, whether that's music, fashion, beauty. You know, I want to do what I do because I want to make women, you know, and men that buy into my brand feel like the best, most powerful version of themselves. That's why I'm doing what I do.
And in the Spice Girls, I suppose it was your first introduction to the power of that personal brand identity and how to kind of leverage that. Could you talk to us a bit about when you first kind of had this realisation that there was something in this and you could...
Yeah, I mean, I learned so much about branding being in the Spice Girls. You know, I went from being a regular teenager to all of a sudden being on the cover of every magazine, every tabloid newspaper, constantly being talked about, herds of paparazzi and fans outside my family home. And it happened almost overnight. And before I knew it, you know, we were advertising everything from Pepsi to Chubba Chub's lollies to Walker's crisps to you name it. We were advertising everything all around the world. And, you know, we weren't just big in the UK, we were massive in America and Asia. And we were traveling around the world having the best time. I mean, traveling the world with 4 of my best friends, it was fantastic, and I learned so much about branding and marketing.
What were some of the kind of key learnings from that time in terms of branding and how to kind of leverage that power, I suppose?
You know, I think that, you know, we had the ability to sell, and it wasn't always about the check, it was looking about the marketing power of the different brands that we were, you know, partnering with, if you like.
And so then, kind of fast forwarding slightly to 1999, married David Beckham in a very high-profile ceremony with those iconic golden thrones.
Oh, can you believe it?
Yeah. When you look back at that, kind of, what do you think? I mean, about that version of you then versus the version of you now?
So, I mean, I think that the media glamorized the wedding much more than it actually was. I mean, yes, it was in a magazine. Yes, we sat on thrones. You know, me and David, I love to have fun. I think I work very, very hard. I take what I do very seriously. I want to be a great wife, a really great mum, but I want to have fun as well. And sometimes my tongue-in-cheek sense of humor does tend to get me in trouble. But the wedding was really, it wasn't as huge as everybody made out. You know, we had the football team there, we had the Spice Girls there, and it was family and friends. And it was actually much more intimate than it looked. But I don't think I realised when I met David quite what the two of us together would be, if you like. You know, the Spice Girls were huge. When I first met David, he wasn't actually even playing for the first team at Manchester United. He'd only just started to break through, if you like. But then when you took David and Manchester United and then you took me and the Spice Girls, it was huge. I mean, everywhere that we went, we were followed by fans and paparazzi and constantly being talked about. And, you know, that's not always going to be nice things that you're having to read about, you know. But it was huge. And a lot of people at the time alluded to, were we only together to build a brand? And I'm like, listen, we've been married for 25 years now. If I didn't genuinely love this man, I mean, you know, 25 years is a long, long time. But, you know, I suppose a whole brand was born at that time.
Did you have that strategic conversation? Was there a moment where you sat down, you know, to become one, if you like to quote the famous...
Oh, I like that.
But did you have that moment where you...
I mean, we are much lighter, aren't we? I mean, we said that we were going to be sort of like a little bit lighter than the other incredible people that have sat up here, but...
Did you have...
I really like women, and I love the fact that, you know, I can do what I love to empower women. I mean, I have the best job in the world.
You are one of the most iconic women of style in the world today.
That's really kind of you to say, you know, for me.
No, it's true.
Well, thank you. It was never about me proving to anybody I knew about construction or fabrics. I'm just passionate about what I do and what I'd created.
Where did you begin the collection for the coming spring?
What sprung to mind really was the very many powers of femininity and how something can be delicate but also very strong. We took what we did for the winter collection and, you know, we used lighter fabrics, lighter colour palette, and then we really did slim down the leg this season.
You're a mother, you're a wife, you're a designer. I mean, you have a really full life, so sometimes uncomplicated clothes make more sense now.
How would you describe the colour palette? You know, I said Play-Doh. I want to challenge myself and try new things, but always be honest with myself. And I think that the underlining message with the collection was that you can be feminine, but with that you can have a strength as well.
To celebrate 10 years of her brand, Victoria Beckham made her London Fashion Week debut, showcasing her Spring-Summer 2019 collection. I went to meet her straight after the show. We're backstage here, it's all happened.
It is hot. It is so hot.
And how are you feeling now after the show? Relieved?
You know, I feel relieved because you know there's only so many times you can rehearse. We didn't even get the final music mix until an hour and a half. Well, not even an hour before the show. I am relieved. I'm looking forward to the rest of the day, celebrating with my customer. We've got lots of activity going on, and it's just great to feel part of London Fashion Week. I really do feel the support. There's a lot of people that have been on this journey with me. I haven't done this on my own. It's not just my team, it's certain members of the press that have been there right from the start. Fun.
The first time you've ever been at London Fashion Week, how does it feel?
Do you know, I've been so excited to come back to London and feel part of London Fashion Week. To have my family here, my friends here, you know, there's some family members that have never seen what I do. So for everybody to feel included is exciting, to really bring my customer in as well. I've got customers that have come in from Australia and Mexico, and I really wanted this season to celebrate with my customer as well. So she can come and she can watch the show, she can pre-order from the show. So she's part of the experience of not just the show, but celebrating what is 10 years. I cannot believe it has been 10 years.
When you look back to 10 years ago, when you first started in 2008, and you were in New York and you were showing, you know, a few of the editors, bits of your collection, and it wasn't a catwalk show or anything. What was it like then? Do you remember? How did you feel? Were you excited? Were you nervous?
Do you know, if anything, I get more nervous. I'm very passionate about what I do. I love what I do. I wake up every day and I pinch myself. I've got the best job in the world. I've learned an enormous amount, and I was probably quite naive at the beginning. Whereas now I know much more about the industry. I've learned so much. I was very aware at the beginning the preconceptions that people would have because of where I came from. I've always been very focused and very honest. Most importantly, I've got to know my customer more and more over the seasons, so I get a good idea of certainly what my customer wants out of her wardrobe. And when I look back at the last 10 years, you know, we've established very strong codes over the years, whether that's colour palette or masculine versus feminine. I've been able to learn from that and pull from that, and that's how I got the collection that I presented today.
Victoria, when you look back at that 10 years, as you say, there were preconceptions at the time. What do you think gave you that courage, that determination to say, okay guys, you know what, yeah, so I've had this career as a pop star, now I'm going to be a designer?
I mean, like I said, I didn't know then what I know now. So I look back and I think, wow, that, you know, that took guts.
Yeah.
I just felt, you know, I was very focused. I don't know, I worked hard, and I love women. You know, this season it's about women. It's not about the woman. People always say to me, who's the VB woman? It's not the woman, it's women. And I really showed that in the casting this season with using an older girl as well. I mean, who'd have thought 10 years ago Stella Tennant would be opening my show? I mean,
Can you believe it?
that's crazy. I feel very proud right now of me and my team.
What are some of the biggest challenges, do you think, looking over the 10 years? And I know, you know, every business is up, it's down, it's in and out. What was the biggest challenge so far, do you think, that you feel?
I think creatively there's always going to be challenges. You know, there was 2 of us when I first started, and it was just dresses. Whereas now we've grown, it's not just dresses, it's tailoring, it's knitwear, it's a complete wardrobe, plus accessories as well. So I've learned a lot from my team, you know, and I've learned a lot about the business. I've had to, you know, I hadn't done this before, so I've surrounded myself with the right people, and the team has grown each season. I got a new CEO 2 weeks ago, which I'm very excited about. I've got an incredible chairman in Paris. I've got incredible investors. So I've learned a lot, and I've had to learn very quickly about building a business, you know, how to construct a collection as well. There are details like that. I didn't know at the beginning. It was 10 dresses, and I showed the dresses, and then I sold the dresses. Now it's so much more complicated. So I continue to learn, and each season there are challenges. We've actually just launched our new website, which is shipping to over 100 different countries as of 3 weeks ago. And digital is key for me, and I've learned an enormous amount from my digital team and how important that is, and how important the communication between me and my customer is. So I've learned, you know, whether it's digital, marketing, the creative, I'm learning quick. I'm like a sponge.
Victoria, as you say that digital's so important, e-commerce is important. You've got your bricks and mortar here. There's a lot of challenges on the high street. How do you feel those challenges come into the brand?
You know, I think that there's always going to be challenges, you know, and I think that for me, being able to communicate directly with my customer and she can just get what she wants and the shopping experience can be enjoyable and it can be fast and she can get what she wants quickly, that is key for me.
And what about shopping the show? Because they've seen the collection today and they can go straight on and pre-order.
Exactly, and again, that's something that's exciting, you know. I haven't been able to do that in the past, whereas that was something I was excited to be able to do this season. So she can literally see a look and she can purchase it immediately, which is great. You know, people, they want things and they want it quick.
You're passionate about it, Victoria, as we can see the business side, the creativity. Any differences from New York to London that you found?
A lot of differences. I would say it's been more stressful, but maybe that's just because I'm coming home. It's a very different way of working, which is challenging, but I've learned a lot, and I'm proud. I'm so proud to be from England. You know, I'm so proud of what I have built. I've always said that my aesthetic is very British.
You nervous last night? I mean, pre-show, you know, you say you're just back in London, everyone's waiting for the return, celebrating a milestone. Last night, what were you feeling? What were you doing?
Well, I got in late, so if I'm not making a lot of sense, it's because we haven't slept a lot this week. You know, I think this whole week you're constantly questioning yourself about the collection. Is it a flat shoe? Is it a high shoe? Is it a bag? Is it a no bag? You know, what is the music like? You know, so it's just questions going round and round and round in my head. But you know, ultimately, by the time I suppose 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, I had to just say there is no more that I can do. Get some sleep, get up early the next morning. I've given as much as I can. I really have.
How important is it for you to have your family here? Because they've been at both shows.
It's really important to have the support of my family. I always love to see them. Also to have, you know, my parents, David's family as well, that have never actually seen the show. My sister was here with her children that don't know what I do. They know I go to the studio every day, but they don't know what I do. So to really include them in the celebrations as well. And we've got lots going on over the next few days, you know. I've got an event at the store I'm excited about this afternoon where people can, you know, have fun with me with my t-shirt. I have to say, I shot a campaign, I don't know if you saw it, with Jürgen Teller of my legs coming out of a bag.
Yes, I did see that.
And so this week, while we've been in the studio, and it's getting later and later and later, it's been so great to go on Instagram and see all the hilarious pictures that people have tagged me in of themselves hanging out of bags. I see it all, by the way, and it's been hilarious. So thank you for that.
But Victoria, you take everything with a pinch of salt, with a sense of humour. Your Vogue video, you know, you made fun of yourself. Does it ever bother you, though, being under so much scrutiny?
You know, I've grown up with this, you know, ever since I started with the Spice Girls. And so I try to not think too much about that. You know, I'm doing the best I can creatively as a wife, as a mum, you know. I'm working hard. You know, I'm quite hard on myself because each season I want my collection to be stronger and better than the last season.
What advice would you give other female entrepreneurs like yourself that are juggling families and the school runs and everything?
You know, it's not easy, and everybody says, you know, do you ever freak out? Do you ever? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. We all do. You know, when you're a working mum, you feel torn, you feel guilty. But you know, I just do the best that I can do, and my kids and David will always come first. But it's no different for me to how it is for other working women. But you know, that's why we need to support each other first and foremost.
Do you feel that way, that we should support? Because there's a lot of judgment in the industry. Do you feel that there's not enough support?
I think that, you know, there can never be too much support, you know. I mean, I don't know. You know, when women don't support each other, then, you know, I have no time for that, you know. I think we're all juggling, we're all trying to do the best that we can do. Yeah.
And today obviously is a big day for you, Victoria, but do you have plans to expand? What's the vision for the brand? Because there's children's wear and men's wear and all sorts of things in the works.
You know, this is the start of a new chapter. I brought on investors. I've got a new CEO that started 2 weeks ago. There is so much that I want to do to really put my foot on the gas. You know, I'm building my team, spending a lot of time focusing on the digital side of things. There will be more retail. There will be more categories as well. You know, beauty is something that is key for me, whether that's makeup or fragrance or skincare. So it really is building the brand and taking it to the next level, which I'm going to be able to do now that I have the right people around me.
You've got the investors, as you say, from last year, the new CEO, you've brought the team in. It's the most notoriously difficult business, even though it's hugely contributes to our GDP in the UK as well. You know, there have been losses. What do you hope for the future?
You know, I think that, you know, I hope that I can build the business. I hope I can give my customer what she wants, and, you know, I don't want to tempt fate. Let's hope the best.
And just finally, when you meet your customer and you see them wearing your outfit, how do you feel?
I feel so excited, I really do. You know, the fact that she has chosen to invest in me as a luxury brand is a huge compliment. It makes no difference if that's a celebrity or if that is somebody that just happens to be popping in my shop and investing in me. So it's very exciting. I still get excited now. That hasn't been lost at all.
Next 10 years?
The next 10 years, more categories, and just to build the business at a steady pace, but to now be able to really do a lot of the things that I've dreamt of. I would say beauty will be at the top of my list of priorities, you know, so we'll see.
Victoria, thank you so much for talking to me today, and
Thank
congratulations on the show.
Thank you so much.
To be from London, and the London look is quite a signature look. It's a look that a lot of people consider signature. So a dark, smudgy, slightly glittery, quite sexy eye with quite a nude lip. So when I created the capsule and I decided I wanted to do these looks, it was because it was hard for me to commit to one look. So London, because I live here and that is what I wear most days. But then I also lived in LA, so I wanted a bronzed, glowy, glossy look as well. And that's where I thought, well, wouldn't it be great to do an LA look? A little bit more natural, glossy, youthful, fresh look. So that's where the LA look came from. But then being in fashion, I love going to Paris. It's one of the most wonderful cities in the world, very, very romantic, uber chic and cool. And I knew that I wanted to do a bright lipstick. And this sunset tone of lip, again, very signature to me. It's a colour that I've used in many of my ready-to-wear collections. It's a modern take on a red. It's matte. It feels young and cool. And I think combined with the green sparkly eye, it reads as Paris to me. It's very, very chic, very sophisticated. And then New York, being the nude lip and the bright electric blue eye, which is actually what I just used in my show in New York, and that just feels like a cool editorial, very fashion look. So they're all cities that in a way I consider home. And so I wanted to make it really easy for my customer so that she can really buy into specific looks. So it's easy. And everything starts off with Morning Aura, which I would say is probably my hero product, which is this. And this came from sitting with Estee Lauder and saying, you know, I get on a plane from London, I travel to LA, and after 11 hours, I'm photographed. I want something that is going to moisturize, hydrate, close the pores, act as the perfect primer, but also lift and tighten and give me that glowy, fresh look. I said, wouldn't it be great if we could create something that does all of that? Because I've searched for whatever this miracle cream is, and I've never been able to find it. So I'm super excited about the Morning Aura. Everything that I'm offering is very much me. They are all key items that I know you can't find out there. I've searched for the perfect nude lip and the perfect nude lip liner and the perfect bronzer that you can also use to contour. I've searched for those things because I am a makeup addict. I mean, I've collected makeup for as long as I can remember, and so I wanted to offer a capsule collection of key must-have items that I believe every woman should have in her makeup bag. I'm really excited about the world of Victoria Beckham because it's the first time that I will have all of my categories merchandised together. So ready to wear, Victoria Beckham, eyewear, handbags, and also the makeup. So it's going to be, other than my own shop, it's going to be the first time that people can come into a store like Selfridges and actually really see the brand through my eyes. I have such fond memories of Selfridges because when I was younger, growing up, my father used to bring myself, my younger sister and my younger brother the week before Christmas up to London to buy my mum a Christmas present. And he would always bring us to Selfridges and we'd have lunch and then we'd wander around the store and try and find the perfect gift for my mum. Trying to find the perfect gift for my mum, and I remember how it smelt, how fabulous the store looked at Christmas time. I'll never forget that. You know, it's always been about David, playing football and watching David. It wasn't until they first came to the show a few seasons ago that they actually realised that Mummy does have a proper job. People are often quite surprised when they come here. They probably expect something much more glamorous. It's just not really about that for me here. You know, a lot of work goes on here. When I first started working, I had a really small room over the other side. It was tiny. It was really, really tiny. And just 3 people just saying, okay, what do we want? And me literally in my knickers, putting on the clothes, saying, how do I feel? How do I look? How is a woman going to feel in this? And I still do that now. It's still very important to me that I put on the clothes. And just as we've grown, the team has grown, and we have about 150 people now working. And though I enjoy being here, you know, it's going to be physically impossible for us to spend that much more time here. We like to play a lot, you know. I don't draw, so I'm very hands-on. That's how I create with my team. It's not going from a sketch to a finished garment. It's going from a basic shape and playing.
You know, I think it's better if we fix this, but then we make it so that people can actually open the bow.
My office is clean, minimal. I haven't really done a lot with it, to be honest with you. I just wanted to keep it really neutral. So it was all about the clothes. And this is about as much, I'm not going to call it junk, chuck-skis if you like. So we went to Elton John's wedding at Christmas and the children made these snow globes. And then they made this little one here of myself and David. I have a very specific eye. I know how I think things should look and how I think things should feel. And I'm always thinking about my customer. But then I also want to play a little as well, you know. I want to experiment. I want to have a strong fashion message. I want to surprise people.
We were going to make this shirt a little bit smaller, weren't we?
I think the problem with it on someone that's not so broad is because of these drop shoulders, it just looks enormous, doesn't it? We start to go a little stir crazy after about 4 o'clock in the afternoon if we've been locked in here. I always complain and say, I'm locked in this room, and then I realise, well, actually, I'm the one that's locked us in this room, so it's my fault. I try to get home before the kids go to bed, but sometimes I'm here until really late if it's the lead up to the show. And I spoke to Diane von Furstenberg about it, actually. I said, Diane, you know, you've always worked and you've had children. Did you feel guilty? And she said, never. I thought, God, you're right, actually. She said, I'm a great mum, but I go to work. End of, you know.